We are back, and I'm here with the amazing Kimberly Fritz, CEO of Fit Mama Foods. Would you say hi and just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, good morning. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here today. As you mentioned, I am Kimberly Fritz and I own the company Fit Mama Foods. We are a healthy foods company located in Arizona, and we just cater to folks who want healthy protein bites, protein bars, energy bites, granolas, anything kind of fast food for folks on the go. And we started our company because we realized that there was a need for healthy snacks for busy people, and that didn't contain gluten, dairy, junk, chemicals, or anything in between.
I love that. I mean, how many of us are busy and on the go as moms, as business owners, all the things, work, family, and a lot of the things at the whatever grocery store, gas station, whatever, have a lot of fillers or sugar or dye or whatever, and you're like, ah. So
Absolutely.
that's
I know. It's
amazing.
so scary.
And it tastes good. That's the important thing too, right? Because sometimes you find something that's healthy and you're like, oh, this is sawdust,
Yes, I know. I feel like there's such a stigma in the healthy foods world that it has to taste like cardboard or tree bark or dirt or something like that. But that is what we do pride ourselves on. Good, clean, organic ingredients really can taste amazing.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you ended up getting here. What did that process look like? Maybe a couple of things along the way that you learned.
Absolutely. So the whole reason why I started the company is I was actually going through cancer. And I had already been diagnosed with cancer once in my life. Shortly after I gave birth to my twins, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. And in order to, what I thought the best way to get rid of that was to really get into the physical fitness side of health and fitness and wellness. And so I got with an amazing personal trainer and I worked out really hard. I actually went to the extreme of competing in bodybuilding competitions. And that was absolutely fantastic. But along with that, I was putting a different type of stress on my body. And that's always not the best for even on like the cellular level in our body and everything, too. And so, with that being said, I was not quite in remission 5 years from the cervical cancer when I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And so being a young mom of twins, I knew something had to change. I wanted to be around a long time for my husband and children. So I had done a lot of research in from when I was first diagnosed with my cervical cancer, and then of course leading up to my colon cancer diagnosis too. And I educated myself on a lot of different protocols out there. And I realized that there is a few different sides of cancer care and the healing side of things. So I just knew that I didn't want to go through chemo and radiation and everything else in between. So researching more of the holistic food option side of things is where I wanted to start. And that's when we really started to become label readers in the grocery stores and started looking into and researching what we were putting in our bodies, on our bodies. What does our environment look like? What about our stress level? And I mean, being a busy mom, of course, there's going to be stress, but I feel like I was putting way too much stress on myself and other facets of my life. So even eliminating just different stressors in life and really turning to, we've always been very biblical folks, churchgoers and everything, but relying more on my faith. And we have an amazing church congregation that kind of just enveloped us and really took us on. And so it was so comforting to have not only faith and looking more into the different things that we're putting in our bodies in today's society. So that's really how like our company started and why it started. Because when we realized that we can't be the only folks looking for healthy food options without sugars, without inflammatory seed oils, without artificial colors and dyes, and all those things that really are not good for our bodies, especially if you're trying to heal yourself from cancer, and doing more like preventative maintenance, because of course we don't want our kids to have any health issues too. So that's where the formation and foundation of our company came from, and it's just been an exciting journey because educating ourselves, realizing what goes on with our food industry, and how I feel like we can really be food advocates for health and wellness in a whole realm of this new side of food in today's world. It's just been so pivotal for us.
Wow, I love that. And just it's incredible, I think, how a lot of times some of the most amazing things are born out of some of the most difficult seasons, even though that's not
Absolutely.
easy and maybe not the way we would have wanted to do things.
No.
But I think that's incredible, and now you have something amazing to support people in their life that's really simple and easy, and I'm just wow. And I'm so thankful that I met you because I've been really enjoying all the little protein bites. I mean, how can you go wrong with like chocolate chip protein bites and peanut butter protein bites? And I mean, come on, can't go wrong with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So, would you share maybe a couple of areas along that process? I mean, that's an undertaking of starting a business from the ground up, right?
Yes.
And in the food industry too, I'm sure there's many ins and outs of that process too. Would you share two or three areas where you really came across some difficulty or challenge, and what helped you through those times or to overcome those challenges?
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, yes, in the food industry, there are a lot of different just rules and regulations that you have to follow. I mean, I've always been interested and intrigued by the food industry, but I've never held any sort of positions prior to that. So, starting a brand new food company, we just had to do a lot of research. And even when we first started doing like small farmers markets locally, and little pop-up shops here and there with fantastic gyms and fitness institutions in the valley, it was a big learning curve. And even from our initial packaging, when we first started doing protein bars, we would get this bakery grade cellophane paper, and we'd wrap it around our protein bars. It was so cumbersome, and we'd put our label on it, put our sticker on it. At the time, looking back now, I was like, "Oh, I thought that was so wonderful." And so it's just been a big learning curve across the way, and even reaching out to packaging distributors, and improving upon labeling and packaging requirements along the way. And it's been wonderful. Of course, I think any entrepreneur going through different phases in business, you have these highest of highs, and you maybe release a new product and you have all these success stories of people really enjoying your products, or perhaps they're losing weight because they're looking more at what they're putting in their bodies, and so that's really exciting. And then you also, as an entrepreneur, have the lowest of lows. Maybe someone complained about something, or they didn't enjoy something, or throughout the process, we've been looking into shipping and everything. And in Arizona, it is so hot here. So, of course, food, it's so difficult to do shipping with food and whatnot, too. So, all those different facets along the way have been so frustrating, yet so exciting when we can move to the next level. Or we love that we have fantastic customers who give us the most phenomenal constructive criticism. And even along the way, they said, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing this?" And of course, we will take that and be like, "No, I've never thought of that, but let's quickly look into it and research and see how we can improve upon our products and our business model to not only cater to what our customers want, and but then It's been really wonderful having the backbone of our family. My husband, I call him like the silent guru behind the scenes. He's always researching and he's kind of like my material cost analyst. So he's helping us figure out how to do the best things in the most fantastic way, but for the cheapest way possible. My kids are my creative little human beings who are so wonderful. They come up with products along the way, and they've really helped me make a lot of our recipes that we have for our current offerings. So I mean, it's never an easy journey being an entrepreneur, but I feel like we've really embodied all of those failures and taken those constructive criticisms that we've dealt with along the way, and we turn them into bettering our packaging, bettering our products, bettering different flavors that we have out there, and just kind of taken that and ran with it. And we're never stopping. We're always looking to improve. We're always researching to see how we can do things better and more economically sustainable. I feel like that's really important too. And then along the way, we pride ourselves in using only good, whole, natural ingredients, organic ingredients, so that folks can really, enjoy it, and not only does it taste good, but it's really good for you too.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love how you said when there is, a criticism or a whatever, right? To always, the way that we look at it, the way we think about that can be very pivotal in, a lot of times people will give up, throw in the towel, be like, oh, well, I don't know, right? Or we can choose to look at that as an opportunity to shift, to do better, to improve, to grow. Is it easy? No. Is it fun? Not usually. Usually it's
Right.
unpleasant. But if I look back on even my journey in business as an entrepreneur and everything, like, I think some of the most difficult times where I had, whatever it was, a complaint or something like that, um, produced some of the best growth that I've ever seen, when I decided to choose, okay, I'm not going to let this be a problem or an obstacle or a failure. I'm going to choose to make this a stepping stone to learn and to grow and to improve, and we can do that.
Absolutely, and it's like looking back at the journey, that's actually some of the most fun things now. Of course, when you're in the moment, it's really difficult and it's really stressful, but it's even helped shape how I conduct, my personal life and business life on a daily basis, because things that used to really stress me out, and, things that you're trying to avoid stress when you're going through cancer and when you're healing from that, and so taking that and kind of dissecting it and saying, hey, do I need this stressor in my life? Or do I need to do this event? Or is it going to be an end all be all if I do that or if I don't do that? And so, kind of taking an outside look and having an outside perspective on all of our business and everything that we were doing. It's definitely rewarding now looking back at the journey, and when you're in the thick of it, sure, it is absolutely difficult. But when you can make it out on the other side and have a better product because of those struggles along the way, I think that's what's so rewarding as an entrepreneur and business owner.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So what would you say, like, when you were in some of those lowest of low places, what would you say were like the biggest things that helped push you forward, bring you, pick you up, encourage you, inspire you in those moments?
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned before, I mean, I've always been a really strong Christian and a believer, and so having my faith as a foundation is crucial. And even just like Bible verses that I memorized as a young child, they seem to resurrect themselves throughout my daily life as an entrepreneur. And if you in the morning, I do a devotion every morning, so sometimes the Bible verse that I would have for my devotion in the morning just kind of plays throughout my head throughout the day. And one thing that I constantly have on repeat is through Christ, all things are possible, or Christ gives me strength. And so of course, there's going to be some really, really low lows as an entrepreneur. And but having that faith as a foundation, and I know that I'll be able to get through everything. And it's also really amazing, like you said before, it's never fun going through, especially like a cancer journey or a health scare or anything like that. But I truly believe that I was given a second lease on life, going through cancer twice. I feel as if God really does have a plan and purpose for me to be on this earth. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. So going through all that and having that strength, and I just hit my 5 year in remission anniversary. So it is an exciting time for me. So having that, I feel like I really do want to live every day to the fullest because I have been given that second lease on life. So that's why I also want to scream from the mountaintops, look at what an amazing world we live in. Look at everything that we've been given. When you look at the ingredients that we're given from nature, whether it's whole food, plant-based items, legumes, fruits, vegetables, everything in between. And we were provided those. So why not take that and use that and in its simplest form, because that's what God provided in nature for us. So I really do feel like my faith has been a huge foundation, and my family is super supportive of me. I was working a regular office job before I realized that I wanted to do Fit Mama Foods full time, or if we could make it as a full time um, gig, because I just did it kind of as a side hustle in the beginning. And my husband and I, we sat down and said, hey, could I do this full time? That would make me a lot more present as a mom with my children, which is something that I've always really enjoyed. Being a twin mom, I think it's so rewarding. It's so much fun. And to see our children grow and develop into these wonderful human beings that they are today is so rewarding. But, I wasn't able to do that prior. We had our kids in daycare when they were little, and that pulled on my mom heart so badly. And I've always wanted to be a mom. I think being a mom is one of the most fulfilling roles that any person can have in life. So, yeah, between my faith and my family, they have been the sure foundation that I've been able to go on. And that really, I feel, is a huge part of my success in business, because when I'm surrounded by all that love and support, it's a lot easier for me to hit my business goals and really just have all the success along the way.
I love that how you said that with support, the right people around you. I think that is a really big piece of the puzzle that sometimes gets forgotten because, people have these wonderful ideas and aspirations and visions, and you can be very skilled and talented. But at the end of the day, when we have those low valleys, which life happens, that's normal. I think one of the biggest things that provides that extra push to get through those is the right type of support, like you said, with your church family, with faith, and your family. And I think
Yes.
it's incredible how you've been able to run this business and your children have been able to be a part of it and your husband as well. That's amazing. Not everyone is able to work with family so well. And so that is phenomenal how you've done that. Would you give like a quick sneak peek of how you're intentional with that balance between, the family time and the work business time? Because I'm sure, with your family a part of the business, there's got to be some strategy there.
Absolutely. And we have been very precise with our scheduling. We live and breathe by our calendar. So we're very intentional with our time. And in fact, so much so that earlier this summer, I did a time study. I recorded every single moment of my day for like 3 days straight, just to see where maybe I was wasting time, maybe a few too many minutes scrolling in social media, or where we could better capitalize on small pockets of our time. Because earlier this summer, we also made the decision to homeschool our twins, and they're high schoolers now. So having that added piece onto running a family business and doing everything else. And our kiddos also do competitive gymnastics. So that's a big component in our lives as well. So yes, we are absolutely busy, but it's been amazing. And we have these little family powwows and family meetings. We love to do it over family breakfast or family dinner. And we said, hey, we feel like we can really do this as a family, and let's just be intentional with our time. And so we structure all of our days very intentionally so that we can accomplish everything that we need. And I know my kids always tease me, but I am the master of to-do list, and everything has to be crossed off by the end of the day. And there are some long days in our household, but for the most part, no, we're able to accomplish everything. And we're so intentional with our time so we can have that balance, because I do enjoy spending time with my husband and children, and then they also have expectations too. They know that they're expected to help mom with certain facets of her business. And now that they're a little bit older, they're understanding how to do invoicing and other things along the way, or maybe assist with social media ideas. So, no, we're just really intentional with our time, and we calendar everything, we schedule everything so that it can create these better pockets for success within our family and business. And it can be easy to be done, but it takes a lot of planning. And even if something's not working, we're willing to scrap it and do something different so that we can maintain that balance within our life and success in our business.
That's so good. Yeah, the intentional scheduling and time blocking, that was life-changing for me many years ago. Even before I started my business, really, I never had like a calendar or planner really much at all. And when I started getting an actual planner, for me, I needed to start with the tangible where I write everything out and where I can see
Yes,
the whole week, each
yes,
week or whatever and all of that. That was life changing because then I was able to see exactly where my time was, and I had a lot less anxiety because when I could see this is the plan for the week, I
yes,
wasn't going into Monday morning like, oh my gosh, there's these 5 billion things that need to be done. Like everything had a place. Did always get done exactly when I had it on the schedule? No, but it
no,
was that general structure was there with like a little bit of flexibility where my mind could be like, okay, we have a plan that it's gonna happen, it's gonna get taken care of, we're good, we're okay,
yes,
um, so yeah, that is huge. Some people prefer digital calendar. Nowadays, there's some more advanced digital ones that are pretty awesome where like it'll even manage your list and like delegate out your list and all that. And I love how you said you'll delegate to like your kids and those kinds of things. When I started being able to delegate and have like a part-time assistant and things like that, it can really help to even take some of those simpler tasks and have someone be able to facilitate that so you can do what you're really good at, right? Whatever that
yes.
is for your life
Or
and your
what needs to be focused on. It just makes it more manageable. And whether that's delegating business tasks, or, my husband is not below doing laundry and cooking and dishes and cleaning, and it just has to get done. But as you mentioned, it makes it more manageable. And actually, you have less stress and anxiety when you live by your calendar, because it creates more freedom, time freedom. And that's what everyone's chasing, and myself included.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, one last little question
Yeah.
as we wrap up here. For those who are interested in like the health information and obviously you are very knowledgeable with nutrition and everything, and your family is very healthy and fit as well. And I mean, you did a lot of like fitness things. Would you share a little bit of what that journey was when you were diagnosed with the cancer and you were working on, the nutrition, eliminating the junk, the toxins, the fillers, the additives, the synthetics, I'm sure from your household as well, and then the nutrition part of it. What did that process look like and how long was that approximately until you really saw results?
I mean, it's an ongoing journey, but anybody who is interested in starting to make healthier choices in their life, we just say make tiny little swaps every day. Whether you would typically start your day with Folgers coffee and coffee mate creamer in there, maybe consider doing a better organic coffee with maybe no creamer or perhaps a collagen additive to it. So even just starting your day off that way, looking at the water that you're drinking. I know in Arizona, our drinking water is not the best. So we ended up investing in a water filtration system, which I feel like has made a huge difference in my health and just the way that we can stay hydrated better and doing just in that health journey that has been a really pivotal thing is having a water filtration system. It's actually an alkaline water system. So between looking at that, we went through all of our cabinetry and pretty much recycled all of our old plastic dinnerware containers that I think we just accumulate over time and eliminating plastics and replacing them with glass. That has been a fun journey. So, and then educating ourselves on, hey, look at every single label. If we're buying something commercially packaged in a grocery store, what is this containing? Does it really need gums and fillers and certainly not red dyes and artificial colorings or anything? So, really educating ourselves. I love reading. I literally read hundreds of books every year, whether that's physically reading, I enjoy reading page by page with a real book, but because we are busy, we'll throw on audiobooks in the car while we're driving to and from gymnastics practice. So educating ourselves and yes, just making tiny little swaps. So I would highly suggest to anybody who is starting off in their health journey and just wanting to clean up and make better choices, whether you keep a food journal just for a little bit to see what you're really putting in your body and go around your house. If you can't drink your toilet bowl cleaner and if you can't, ingest your daily counter cleaners in your house, you should probably look at, there are definitely safer, healthier plant-based alternatives out there too. So, and if anybody has any of those types of particular questions on how to start, our website has a lot of great information. It's just fitmamafoods.com and you can email us directly on there. We have a blog section with a lot of healthy recipes that are really easy for families to make and they don't have audacious ingredients that you have to go to a specialty food store to get to. I mean, these are things that a lot of folks have in their pantry or refrigerator. So it can be done, and we're still continuing to do everything with that healthy scope of what better health choices are out there. And our process is not done. So it has taken years to get us to where we want to be, but we just simply advise everybody to take a little outside look. You can make little swaps every single day, whether that's in food and drink and cotton versus, all these crazy synthetic spandex fibers out there. There's so many things that can be done, but just do like a little bit at a time. Don't let it overwhelm you. Otherwise, it could be a stressor in your life. And when you're trying to make healthier choices, don't let it be a stress.
I love that. Little by little, yeah, and it could, like you said, the small things, either daily or weekly, can still make a big impact over time, and one of my favorite things is, like, when you run out of one thing that you know is not healthier, maybe it's a cleaning
Yes.
product or shampoo or something that has synthetics or whatever, a food item that's got a lot of preservatives. Just
Yes.
when you're going to the store next time, replace it with something better, and then little by little, get easier. If you
Yes.
don't feel like you have time to read labels or you don't know enough, you can learn, but also there are apps for that. So
Yes.
if you need that, make sure you contact us here or comment or something and we'll get that to you. And yeah, make sure you check out her website because that's amazing. So many phenomenal recipes, the blog, always sharing healthy tips. So that's the fitmamafoods.com. I'll put it down here too when you guys are seeing the replay and in the podcast, I'll put it there And then you can also connect on social media if you want to connect with Kim and just follow along the journey. She's always doing amazing, like hiking things and camping and all kinds of fun stuff. And of course, you've got to try her amazing Fit Mama Foods, like incredible. So, yeah, it's just at Fit Mama Foods for the Instagram. Very nice and simple there. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today. So good to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having me, and, best of success with everything. I love it.
All right, we'll talk soon.